College is an extremely stressful time. College is a time when we are focused on our success. We're focused on getting into the system, learning what we need to, and getting out and starting our own lives. And this is something that, at least to me, is extremely important, and I know it is to many of my friends and people that I've met in my classes. Success in college is essential to our futures as human beings, as fathers, as husbands, as employees. And so, it makes me wonder why so many people choose to jeopardize that future by indulging in recreational viewing of pornography. Now, to many, this seems like a very natural thing. It relieves stress, they say. It's not harmful. There are worse things you could be doing. But that isn't really the case, because pornography can be as harmful as a drug and can even rob you of the mental faculties necessary to achieve success in life. So how does pornography affect this possibility for success in our lives? Well, let's look at the facts. Pornography stimulates a basic need in our minds that has been there throughout the ages, through evolution, and through naturally who we are. And that is a sexual desire within our minds. Pornography fulfills this sexual desire that we have, that's naturally hardwired into our DNA. And it causes a very interesting reaction in our minds. Dopamine is released into our brains when we view pornography. Dopamine is a chemical that causes a feeling of joy, of ecstasy. And it is something that is highly addictive. And when your brain gets something that it likes, it really wants to keep it around. And so what happens is a process called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity occurs when the brain wants something and it wants it now. It literally alters the physical structure of its pathways and allows dopamine easier access into the nerve cells. It's like taking a ball of clay and molding it from its original form into something that you want, except in this case you are the addiction and the clay is the brain. And so with all this in mind, it becomes extremely difficult to maintain our mental faculties in the way that we want them. Because as the brain changes, it starts to rob us of our willpower. Donald Hilton, Jr. of the University of Texas said that instead of wanting the thing that will enhance survival, the addicted is instead motivated by that which it wants, even if it knows it is harmful. And so, we see that our mind is robbed of its willpower as it wants these dopamine thrills, as it wants to continue this high that it gets from viewing pornography. We find ourselves subconsciously robbed of our willpower, and our brain begins to set mental schedules around each hit, each high. And that can be extremely detrimental to the average college student who's trying to succeed in a class, who's trying to do well in their job, who's trying to find another internship. When our mind is so focused on these things, it becomes nearly impossible to get it out of our heads. A perfect example of this is a man named Michael Lee, who, before the internet was as popular as it is today, was by his own words, recreational porn user. And so, with the advent of the internet, he decided to indulge a little bit more. And he said in his own words, that was the beginning of the end for me. Now, what happened to Michael Lee is that he dived deeper and deeper into pornography and became more and more addicted. And he soon lost his job, his family, and his marriage over this addiction. And he said in his own words that there is no recreational porn usage. It may not do as much damage as it did to me, but it will do damage. And so I have to ask you college students looking to improve your lives, is it worth the risk that you take by indulging in pornography every now and again to jeopardize your entire future? I ask, are you willing to give that up for the short-term high you get, the short-term stress relief? Is it worth risking an addiction to give up what you've worked so hard for? I urge you to not give in to this, and it will make your lives that much easier, and it will give you that edge you need to reach that bar and reach that success.